Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Stryftek, and I'm here to ask and answer one simple question. Is it worth your time? On trial today, The Altars. Released in June 2025, this was made by 11-Bit Studio, the same studio behind This War of Mine and Frostpunk. The Altars is a third-person survival management game where you're not just managing your base, you're managing yourself. It's like Stardew Valley meets The Martian, filtered through the psychological chaos of splits. You know, that M. Night Shyamalan movie where James McAvoy plays 23 different personalities? Well, here in The Altars, everyone is you. You are your crew, you are your conflict, and you are your own last chance. It leads you to asking yourself, which one of me can I trust? Or more importantly, can I even trust myself? This game dives deep into interpersonal conflict taken to the extreme, resulting in a lot of life lessons.
I don't want a Valley Mulan lesson. I just want an ice cream.
Let's dive in.
How did I end up here? My whole life, all its ups and downs, led me to this place. Far from home, far from anyone I know. A journey whose route is unknown, and the destination out of sight. Was this path just a random sequence of events that I had to follow? Or was there ever another way? Now, heading for the unknown. I can't really tell. Is this the end of the road? Or is it yet another branching?
You play as Jan Dolsky, a builder stranded on a hostile alien planet after your ship crash lands. Everyone else, they're dead. And now your only mission is to survive. You come to find out that the sun will rise in just a few days, and when it does, it's going to roast you alive. You work on getting the comms up, the power online, you start mining, just trying to survive, and then you find rupidium, a mysterious substance that rapidly accelerates organic growth. Also, the reason this mission started in the first place. You're instructed to combine it with some DNA, and Molly is born. From here, you're instructed to use the supercomputer and branch yourself, or in other words, look back on your life, pick a moment in time, and make a new decision. That timeline then is combined with your DNA and rupidium, and a clone of yourself is born. Through this process, the first one you create is Jan the Technician. He's you, but took a different life path. The game lets you look back on his life and see these pivotal moments and what changed. This new Jan is still you, but with different skills, memories, and baggage. But only two people cannot run this ship, so to survive, you create a crew of your own fractured selves. Of course, ignoring the ethical dilemmas because you have to survive, you're now constantly confronted with your own past, regrets, and choices externalized through these altars. You're arguing with different versions of yourselves about the kind of person you've been and what you're becoming. All of this wound together while trying to survive a strange planet with strange anomalies. The story swings for the fences and it nails it. And each of the choices you make during this entire story change what's going on. If you're nice to the technician, if you're mean to the technician, if you side with the scientist, each will change the story, meaning the story you got may not be exactly the same as the story your friend got. But which was the right answer? That's for you to decide. Survival happens one day at a time. Each morning you assign tasks to your altars based on their specialities. The botanist grows plants better than others, technician fixes better than others, and the researcher can run experiments better than the others. And while they handle their jobs, you handle the rest. Exploring, repairing, making decisions, settling arguments, dodging solar radiation, and dealing with your own mental breakdowns. Your altars aren't passive. They'll need to talk to you, they'll push back, they'll fight with each other. You'll need to manage their needs, build them dorms, send them to therapy, talk to them, calm them down. You're almost just babysitting yourself. And what happens when someone gets hurt or sick? This affects the whole team's morale and their productivity. This creates a gameplay loop that's really tense. Every day you're trying to optimize your schedule before the sun rises. And anytime something unexpected happens, like a system failure or an interpersonal meltdown, you'll have to figure out how to fix it quickly. I usually don't enjoy games like this, or at least the management sim side of things, but the story and how your choices affected the outcome really pulled me in. And luckily, when I wasn't dealing with all of that, I was out exploring, being the leader, finding out what to do next, given I was the original and not an alter. I think my only gripe would be the pseudo combat the game has. You run into anomalies you have to detect and destroy, and it just didn't feel great. It almost felt like it was an afterthought. Luckily, it's a pretty minor part of the game. The visual design is clean, cinematic, and bleak in all the right ways. The planet is lonely, windswept, and hostile, reminding you that you're not supposed to feel safe here. I did experience some minor stuttering during cutscenes, but otherwise the performance was solid. The game is Steam Deck verified, and I tested it. It's about 30 to 40 frames typically. Not ideal for me personally, I'm a frame snob, but definitely playable. That being said, I do wish there was a little bit more environmental variety. The terrain got repetitive over multiple runs, and I think it would have been cool that when you reached a new place that it was maybe more alive, but as the sun encroached, visually things started to die, or something, just to give it a little bit more variety. Most of the soundtrack is atmospheric, tense, ambient space noise that really let the isolation sink in. There were two absolutely standout tracks that I will not spoil here. They hit hard right in the emotional feels and right at the perfect moments. But one thing we absolutely have to discuss is Alex Jordan. Every single version of Jan Dolsky, and there's like 10 plus of them, maybe more, are voiced by Alex.
Okay, my name is Jan Dolsky. Yeah, sure. You got my looks, why not use my name too? We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information, and that's the interesting part.
Each of them with a distinct voice, cadence, emotional range, and backstory. Alex is carrying the whole emotional arc of this game across dozens of identities, and he nails it. And then it's kind of funny when you realize this guy spent weeks arguing with himself in a sound booth. So, is it worth your time? My first playthrough took about 20 hours and I immediately dove into a second. Now I'm at about 35 plus hours and I am still discovering new outcomes, routes, and endings. Now you don't have to replay, but if you do, the game remembers your previous choices and encourages you to explore the what ifs even further, which really helps the replayability. You don't have to remember what you did, the game already knows for you. Right now the alters sit at $34.99 and I've seen it go as low as $23.83. At this price, you walk away with a gripping sci-fi story, wild narrative branches and ethical choices, tight management gameplay with real consequences, a haunting soundtrack, and one of the best solo performances in recent memory. This isn't just another base builder, it's a mirror, and sometimes what's staring back at you isn't so easy to live with. So to conclude, yes, The Alters is absolutely worth your time. My name is Stryftek and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Is It Worth Your Time?